Hello, it's Merrill from the Cordial Eye Gallery and Artist Space with Self Care Saturday, our regular Saturday night Facebook Live talking about self care. So, last week we talked about boundaries. We talked about different types of boundaries and boundary categories. We talked about how, let's see, we have these different boundary categories. These are just some of them: physical, intellectual, emotional, time, professional, material. And then we talked about the types of boundaries: porous, rigid, and healthy boundaries. And tonight we're going to talk about setting boundaries with people. And a way to think about boundaries with people is by using boundary circles. So some people might recognize this chart. Some people call it intimacy circles or circles of intimacy, and other people call them boundary circles. So you'll see in the center of that circle, that's you, right in the middle. And then as you work your way out, you see these different types of relationships that you have with people in your life. Now, everyone's boundary circles aren't going to be the same. You don't need to have, like, your partner doesn't need to be in the circle next to you. You don't need to have a partner. Maybe family isn't going to be as close to some people as others in the circles. So it's going to be different for different people, but this is kind of just a generic version of boundary circles. So you'll see you're in the center, and then the relationships in your life that are closest to you are going to be in that next circle, the green circle. The relationships that are a little bit further out, but still close to you, are in that orange circle, and it goes further and further out. So in this chart, this person, they're in the center. Their partner is the person that's closest to them. And then right outside of their partner's boundary circle, they have close friends. And then outside of that are friends, and then extended family, then acquaintances, and then the very last one, that's kind of outside of most of the circles, that's strangers and people that we don't think are safe people. So the circles that are closest to you, the boundaries are going to look different with those people than they're going to look with the people at the outside of the circle. So like your partner, your close friends, even a lot of your friends, you're going to have softer, more porous boundaries with those people, and that's healthy. So what's healthy is going to look different in different circles. It's healthy to be more open with the people that you're close to. If you draw this version or this chart, your own version for yourself, and you find that pretty much everybody in your life is way outside of you, and maybe you don't have like 6 circles, maybe you just have like 2 circles. You're like your partner and then everybody else. Then that's not really a healthy way to set up your boundaries. You want to have a rainbow of boundaries. You want to have all of these different layers. You want to have people who are close to you, who you're able to just be vulnerable with and be open with, and that gives you a chance to express yourself, express your identity, and feel validated and seen and safe. That's why it's so important that you do have people in your life that it's safe to have soft boundaries with. But you don't want to have soft boundaries with everybody, because not everybody is safe. That's not healthy. So you need to have these layers so that you can keep the unsafe people, or the people that you don't know if they're safe or not, on the outside. You have those firm walls up with those people so that they can't hurt you. They can't take advantage of your vulnerability. But it's also important to remember that boundaries change as life changes. So just because somebody is in your inner circle right now doesn't mean that they're going to stay that way, or that they should stay that way forever. I really encourage you to make your own chart, make your own circles, and rather than just writing partner, friends, family, stuff like that in the circles, write actual names of people in your life. Write the name of your partner if you have a partner in that circle. Write the names of your friends, write the names of family members, and really think about what circle all of the people in your life would fall into. And then I want you to think about, are they in the right circle? Do you think that the person who is closest to you, or the people who are closest to you, are they safe people? Do they take advantage of your vulnerability? Can you be vulnerable with them? Do you feel safe being vulnerable with them? And if the answers are no, then think about how you can put them in a circle that's farther out. And then think about the people in the circles that are farther out. Are they safe people? Are they people that you'd like to be closer with, you'd like to develop relationships with? Think about how you can move them into a circle closer to you, how you can explore being more vulnerable with those people and work on your relationship with them. So boundaries will change as life changes. Setting new boundaries can be really tricky, especially if you have people that are in your inner circle and you don't want them in there anymore. What you need to do is you need to make sure you're communicating. You need to be respectful about setting boundaries. You need to use confident body language. Be really mindful of what your body is telling people, what messages your actions are sending to people. And you're going to want to weigh the trade-offs when compromising. In relationships, we know that we need to compromise things. It's just how you have a healthy relationship with somebody. But don't compromise the things that are really important to you. Don't compromise the values that are most important. Just compromise the things that you feel are worth compromising in order to better a relationship. Here's just some examples of things you can say to somebody in order to set boundaries. Sometimes it's really hard to say these things, and it's hard to come up with things to say. So these are just some options you can use, like, I'm not comfortable with this. Please don't do that. Not at this time. This is not acceptable. I draw the line here. I don't want to do that. That doesn't work for me. Another thing you can do if you have a hard time saying no to people is saying, I will think about it. I'll get back to you. Let me get back to you tomorrow. Because that way, if you're somebody that just blurts out yes, then it gives you some time to think about how you're going to say no. And it makes it a little bit easier to set that boundary. And I just want to end with a quote. Compassionate people ask for what they need. They say no when they need to, and when they say yes, they mean it. They're compassionate because their boundaries keep them out of resentment. It's Brene Brown. I just love her. So thank you so much for joining us, as always, and we'll be back again next week at 8 p.m. with Self-Care Saturday. If you enjoyed this and if you enjoy our other programs, then please consider donating at thecordiali.org. All of the donations that we get go to programs like this and all of our wonderful social groups. It's really helpful. It helps build the community. So thank you, and stay well, be safe, and get some self-care in this week. All right, thanks. Bye.